At a certain level, scope is kind of obvious. You're seeing code in the videos for this course. Can your code access the variables that I'm showing here? Of course not, unless you copied my code into your code, but then it's not my code, it's your code. What about if you have two files of code on the same computer? Can one see the variables in the other? There may be ways to tell one file how to see the other, but that would have to be done explicitly. Just having them both on the same computer doesn't mean they can see each other. So a lot of the time, scope is pretty easily defined. You expect the scope of your program to have an outer limit, at least, of all the code you're running at a given time. That's a characteristic of nearly every language I've encountered. A second part of scope is a little bit more complex, but it still makes some logical sense. Scope is often defined linearly. In other words, the computer doesn't know that a variable exists until it encounters it. If you create a variable named myVariable on line 10, you can't refer to it until you reach line 10. The scope begins when the variable is first created. Within these general limits, though, things can get a little bit trickier. Some languages behave differently. Most languages, however, use control structures to define scope.